Drivers and Uber drivers are concerned by what they call unjust deactivations from the rideshare service. I've covered this many times. I've showed you how to handle this, but there's nothing more powerful than turning to the media.
Ride shares these days to get around, and so many of those drivers rely on you to make a living. But tonight, drivers with Lyft tell us they're being shut off, and they don't know why. They're calling out what they call unfair deactivations after customer complaints. Channel 2's Ashley Lincoln live in Midtown Atlanta tonight. And Ashley, you got a response
Thank you,
from
Ashley.
Lyft?
Yeah, Justin, we're talking about small complaints here. For instance, if a rider complains about having to be told to put their mask on, or if they make a complaint about a dirty vehicle, local advocacy groups that we found out, they say they're seeing an increase in deactivations related to these small complaints.
And they're tiny complaints.
They'll make a complaint, false complaint.
Rideshare drivers say they're unfair complaints that's putting many drivers out of a job.
We don't make money. Whenever they deactivate us, we don't make money.
Albert Wells is now one of those drivers, currently unemployed after rideshare company Lyft deactivated his account permanently.
They'll send an email, and basically the email says safety concern. It doesn't tell you what it is. It don't tell you when it occurred.
This week, Wells says he received this email from the company notifying him that his account had been deactivated on allegations of violating Lyft's community guidelines. Wells, who holds a 5-star rating with the company, says this termination came as a surprise.
I've been with them for almost 5 years now.
I had an incident too with myself.
And that's Janice, a former Lyft driver who only wanted us to use her first name. She says herself and other drivers have experienced deactivations after they've received what they're calling false complaints.
The drivers don't stand a chance. They can lie on you.
Janice says her account was deactivated after a driver complained about how she spoke to him. Both she and Wells say they agree accounts should be deactivated if a driver commits a crime or an assault, but says deactivation on smaller complaints is unfair.
Correct.
If it's some sexual harassment or something, then you shut them off.
According to Rideshare, an information site for rideshare drivers, a driver's account can be deactivated for something as small as smoking, having a dirty vehicle, a low driver rating, or outdated documents. More serious violations include discrimination, having a criminal background, or drivers breaking the law by driving under the influence or assaulting a passenger. A Lyft spokesperson told WSB that due to their privacy policies, they can't comment on specifics about Wells' case. We did find that after customer complaints, the company conducts an investigation before making any decision.
It's been so frustrating.
I found advocacy organizations like the Georgia chapter of Rideshare Drivers United are currently advocating on drivers' behalf about what they're calling wrongful deactivations due to exaggerated passenger complaints.
This is causing drivers to become homeless. I'm living in an Airbnb.
Drivers' rights could also be strengthened with the passing of the Protecting the Right to Organize Act of 2021, a bill that could give drivers who are considered independent contractors more protections against rideshare companies. The bill has already passed the House and is currently in the Senate.
I hope that will come out of this is that Lyft will make a change and provide better protections for the drivers.
And Channel 2's Ashley Lincoln here live with us once again. Ashley, are there any other efforts being taken now to increase driver protections?
Yeah, we actually found that a group of attorneys out in Seattle, they're trying to establish what's called a resolution center. It'll help drivers whose accounts have been deactivated legally regain their membership. However, a spokesperson did make a comment about that, stating that they do have concerns with these centers, hoping that, or they have concerns that it could lead to unsafe drivers returning back on the streets within their company, Justin.
All right, when you think about it, it's still a relatively new technology and clearly still some issues to be sorted out. Thank you.
So their excuse is, well, you have a resolution center that is set up to protect these individuals and that problem drivers could re-enter the platform, right? That's the dumbest excuse I've heard. If you look at legal rideshare, they have a whole deactivation department. They'll fight every deactivation. They'll submit your proof. your dash cam footage, whatever you have, your photos, and they will fight for you. So the Seattle company wants to basically duplicate that and do the same. I say go for it, right? Help these drivers and fight deactivation. So this is the dumbest excuse I've heard from Lyft, saying that, no, that's not really going to work because we're going to get those problem drivers back on the platform. Here's the bottom line, folks. It is way too easy for these companies to deactivate you. You've committed to a car. You're a 5-star driver. You've been doing this for 5-6 years. I hear that gentleman's frustrations. I hear him loud and clear, right? And he hopes for change. I hope for change as well. The system on their end has to change. They have to stop protecting riders at every cost, right? It is not worth keeping lying, manipulating riders that are taking advantage of the system to get discounts or get the trips for free. They should see a pattern of abuse. They should write algorithms identifying that type of abuse and kick the rider off, not the driver. Because I can tell you what, 9 times out of 10, it's the rider who's taking advantage so they don't have to pay. And Uber and Lyft are too scared to deactivate them because they don't want to lose those dollars. They will take the dollars. They can get another driver, but we want to keep that client and we want to make more money from that client, no matter if he or she lies. And that is wrong, Dara Khosrowshahi. That is wrong, Logan Green, and you know it. So tighten up your damn system, come out with a better system, and stop this abuse by drivers who are wrongfully deactivating good drivers. I made video in the past about this. If you have any questions how to fight deactivations, I'm a pro at it. I've helped many people get reactivated after they got deactivated. And I mean, you can even take a wrongful termination all the way to small claims court and fight for $10,000 of damages, right? Because most of the time these companies don't even show up. And the judge will say, hey, you've submitted the proof. They have wrongfully terminated you. They owe you this money, right? So please hit me up. That's what I've become, the biggest recruiter now for drivers, protecting them and funneling them into legal lawsuits so that they can get their money back from these arseholes that are deactivating you. Have a great day. Like and subscribe, my friends.